Hi, my name is Brady Hardin, and I'm here to answer your questions about your faith deconstruction. The first question we have is from Rachel W. She asks, what does deconstruction of faith mean? I've never heard of it until the podcast. I've never realized that what I was doing was deconstructing and that many other people are going through it as well. Does it mean taking apart everything I believed and questioning it? In her question, she mentioned a podcast. She was referring to the Life After podcast, where my friend Chuck and I interviewed people about their exoduses away from Christian fundamentalism and their faith deconstruction. So it's a term that we use a lot on this show, and in fact, I never really knew what faith deconstruction was until we started making the show. For a lot of people, what happens is we discover a new standard in which we should look at the Bible. So maybe that standard has to do with, okay, did this stuff really happen? Do I trust the way that it was inspired? Do I trust the people who made the decisions of how to write it? Or you could say, does this really fit my morality? For example, a lot of times in the Old Testament, there are stories about God calling for genocide and the execution of people who don't follow line of the authoritative way of the religion. And so a lot of people kind of exit fundamentalism because they start to question, is that what I want to believe? Many of them may land on a more liberal Christianity, but if there's a lot of questions going on of where did this come from, do I trust the history, if those are kind of the backing up of a deconstruction, maybe they will land on something that's different than liberal Christianity. So whatever it is that you're going through, that's kind of maybe your experience is telling you that the fundamentalist beliefs that you have are not reflective of real life, it's important for you to start questioning those things and to apply a new standard to your beliefs. So the way that I look at my deconstruction was I wanted to know, did the things that I believe actually happen? And when I realized that there was a common thread of accepting people's supernatural conclusions without having any evidence, my deconstruction became, well, I want to cut out anything that I can't show why it's there and why that belief is there. So with that standard, I went through, and a lot of the things that I believed in my fundamentalism didn't last, but some things did. For instance, when Jesus taught, treat others the way that you want to be treated, to me, that was just kind of a human looking at a human and reflecting and having empathy. So because it didn't have any supernatural whatever that I couldn't show or prove, it was still put into my life as a guideline in which I could live my life and how I can treat others. Your deconstruction is going to look different than other people's, but also it may look different at the end than it did at the beginning. At the beginning, you may have learned something that was very important to you and you were applying that standard to your beliefs, but then as you're starting to question, you may come across even more things and more things that pile up and pile up. And it maybe is easier to kind of do all of your deconstruction at once, or some people kind of want to deconstruct over time. There's no wrong way to do it, but it's important to do, to listen to your doubts and to your questions. We have more resources now in our day and age than our family and our parents did, who were making faith decisions for us previously whenever we were kids. So we kind of have the ability, the responsibility to use the resources that are available to us and to see if those things may eventually start to make us question even more. And if there's other options that may be more closer to what we believe and what's more important to us. That's how I would define deconstruction. Deconstruction is adding a new standard to your beliefs, and kind of that process of going through and checking through, seeing what might be valuable to keep and what may be just worth getting rid of and rebuilding. Well, my name is Brady Hardin. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, in addition to my podcast, the Life After podcast, which is available where any podcast is found. Thank you so much for watching. Happy deconstructing. Email me at info@thelifeafter with the subject line, Hey Brady, with any deconstruction questions you may have.